What is up, watch fam? I am Christian, the curator of the Theo and Harris watch shop, and today I'm going to be diving into 3 luxury watches that all represent a ton of value under $10,000. So let's do it. Boom, watch fam. Before I start talking about what luxury is and start introducing you guys to a couple of luxury watches that bring a ton of value under 10K, a quick wristwatch check. I am wearing a beautiful Datejust reference 1601. It's got this beautiful black glossy dial and gilt silverish yellow print. It's a rare Datejust, so if you're into rare and interesting Rolexes that also happen to be quite beautiful, rarity in and of itself is not all that important unless it's actually attractive. Head on over to the Theo and Harris watch shop and take a closer look at this piece. It's really one of the best Datejusts you can really get out there. Certainly under $10,000. The next step up would probably be in the 20s or 30s. So, what is a luxury watch? It's something indisposable. Something that took professional watchmakers to design, assemble, and decorate. It's something that doesn't just do its job, in this instance, tell time, like any old Daniel Wellington, but it does it with artistry. In my opinion, every man and woman should own one great watch because it's one of those few fine pleasures in life that we can dedicate money toward and enjoy on not just a daily, but a constant basis. So, while many luxury watches come with retail tags well above $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, is it possible to own a truly luxurious watch under the 10K mark? The answer is, of course, yes. And today, we're gonna focus on a few pieces from Jaeger LeCoultre, Zenith, and Habring. So let's start off with JLC. The company has an incredibly long history in the luxury watch trade, recognized for their dedication to not just watchmaking, but fine watchmaking since 1833. And here is a perfect example of their work, their iconic Reverso, this example being the medium thin. The Reverso was introduced in 1931 as, and this might be hard to believe in today's style, but the brand's sports watch for polo players specifically. The watch's unique flipping mechanism allowed the players to protect their watches while they played. Since the Reverso has become not just recognized as super neat for the way it flips, but as one of the most important watches ever manufactured. Now, the Reverso comes in a multitude of variations, but the medium thin is, in my opinion, one of the, while most simple, the best. It's super well proportioned, very traditional. It's powered by JLC's 822A2 manual movement, which was introduced by the brand decades ago. It was designed originally in-house by the manufacturer, and to this day is still hand-assembled and decorated by JLC watchmakers. The medium thin comes in at $5,800 retail, and not only do you have the opportunity to own one of the icons ever in watchmaking, but a piece of one of the most well-regarded companies in history, and upon closer look, a watch that upholds the quality of its legend. And of course, the flip side of the watch is blank, just waiting for your personalized inscription, which JLC will do for you. And to my understanding, really go above and beyond. They don't just end at different fonts, but they'll even get involved in enamel work. And of course, this comes at a la carte, but the fact remains, the personalization aspect of the Reverso is incredibly cool. Now, let's move on to another brand, and a watch that was only recently introduced, unlike the Reverso, Zenith. A brand most famous for their El Primero chronograph, the movement that was actually powering Rolex's own Daytonas for years. While Zenith has kind of been looked at as a one-trick pony with their El Primero, they've really stepped up their game recently. They've kind of reinvented their entire aesthetic, and with it, the brand. Their new line, the Defy, has a distinctly modern look. You can absolutely tell that it's a product of the world created by crazy to say it, but Hugh Blow and AP with their offshores. But this watch, I feel, is so much more refined than those. This watch, while incredibly modern, isn't trendy and it's executed with taste. There's nothing bombastic about it. I'm a huge fan of the entire line, but there's one watch to me that really sticks out, and it's the Defy Classic. It's 41 millimeters, ceramic case, comes in a couple of different color variations, my favorite being the blue, and it is such a beautiful blue, not navy, not royal, not light. I mean, it's a great versatile color. It comes with a beautiful patterned rubber strap and a deployant buckle. I have held this watch and it is incredibly light and comfortable. You guys know that I rarely will buy a watch for myself that's over 38. Nonetheless, over 40, and this one being 41, but I'm so impressed with the execution. The big word that I use quite often when it comes to design and sizing is proportions. A lot of the watches that I find are too big aren't just too big, they're poorly proportioned. But this watch at 41, it's the size that the design was supposed to be. It's not a 36 millimeter design trying to being blown up, which often feels empty. This is, I'd say, almost a flawless design. Now, going into the movement, you've got Zenith's Elite 670 caliber, which is not only in-house, but really well designed, architected, and finished. You can see, of course, that it's a skeleton watch, which leaves Zenith nowhere to hide lackluster or lazy finishing. So, it's a well-proportioned, original design with an in-house, well-decorated movement that utilizes interesting alternative materials, in this instance, ceramic and rubber, working all together to make this actually, and this is something that we don't get to say often, a new release from a brand. It's not just pulled from elsewhere. This is new and well done. And at $7,500, I think it's great value. So, last but not least, I would be remiss to not talk about an independent, about a husband and wife couple from Austria, Richard and Maria Habring. And their company, which is their namesake, was founded in 2004 and has since definitely received plenty of attention in the inner circles of the watch world, but I don't think that they get nearly enough big press. Of course, being a husband and wife team, they don't even have the capacity to keep the world on time. But still, the fact remains, this is a company that everyone here should be considering when they're talking about luxury watches. So let's talk about the first model. This is their COS Felix. COS being an acronym, COS, for Crown Operating System. As you'll notice, while it's a chronograph, you can't find any pushers. So now that I've pointed out there are no pushers, what does your mind go to? Well, it must be a mono pusher. But not even that. You don't push the crown like a traditional mono pusher, you just manipulate the chronograph by turning it. This is a watch I would love to get my hands on. It's 42 millimeters in diameter, so it's probably too big for my wrist, but the design fits perfectly. This salmon color dial is obviously a favorite of mine, I'm sure the entire watch community, and everything about the dial doesn't just seem well balanced, but well sized. This is a very impressive watch from the company. Again, bringing it back to even Zenith. We like things that are new, that are inventive. I hate seeing brands only rest on their laurels, only rely on their past to offer up watches now. It's cheap, it's like reality TV, you know, why pay real actors when we can pay these jokesters? Why invent something new when we can keep selling the old stuff? Right? It bothers me. And that said, the classics are still wonderful. I still love the Reverso, but we've got to just admire the brands that are actually going out there and inventing and creating new things like this watch. One more watch from Havering, just because I'm in love with the brand so much. This is their Havering Jumpingseconds. It has a beautiful sector dial. It was limited to 21 pieces, which one is a shame, but two, who knows? Maybe if you reach out to Richard and Maria, they could make you another one or something very similar. I hear they're quite accommodating, and small companies are able to be. But this is just a lovely watch. 38.5 millimeters in diameter, and it has this rare and unusual and super interesting, it's almost like a toy deadbeat complication, something that, you know, from a distance everyone would say, oh, he's wearing a cheap quartz watch. But of course, you know you're wearing something really interesting and odd, something that does go back into the history of watchmaking and is still being done today in Austria. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. This is one of my favorite topics. $10,000 is a lot of money, and I want to see all of you out there get the most for it. If you like watches, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. If you liked this video and found it informational at all, please give us a thumbs up, and I will see you all soon. Watch fam. Are you talking about me? What do you want from me? Do you want chicken? Is that what you want? You want chicken? Sit. All right, let's start off with a watch I hate, but also sometimes love.